Welcome to a very special episode of my broadcast. I'm introducing my daughter here. She's visiting, and I'd like to make a formal introduction to her. Actually, she is a very talented artist and should by now be world famous. Only that has not happened yet. But
Maybe
she
in
ought
the
to.
future.
Maybe in the future, yeah. Now, anyway. This is her style, and as we're going to talk about wedding photos, I've actually chosen two other drawings of yours, which are very sort of like love. So here comes the next one. It's just so you can have an idea about her style, and I really like the storytelling you using here. So we're actually gonna dive into this very much, the connection between man and woman, because we are gonna look at weddings. And so the basic thing is that when you arrive at a wedding, you don't know what you're gonna see. But if you are there, let's imagine that it's either gonna be your wedding, that would have interest for you, or it could be that you by some friend has said, can you not just take some pictures? And because you're nice and a little bit, you're sort of like maybe too nice, but you say, yeah, okay, I'll do it. But actually you're not completely prepared. So let me just say that, okay, I'll set you up for what is going to happen. Okay, so when the photographer arrives to the scene of the crime, might say, where this is where it's going to happen, there can be all sorts of things happening. And I've just made a little selection here, which was the official selection, which I actually made to this couple also here. So often you'll take a shot of the church. Just when you arrive, you check, I'll take a shot of the church, basically, so they know, okay, this is where we were married. Because sometimes people want to do a photo book, and then like to have, okay, so where did you guys get married? And then, we don't have a picture, but make a picture of the church, because the people coming for this event are usually not in that frame of mind that they're going to take a picture of the church. So it's just a nice thing to do. It's just like, make a nice picture of the church. But then something here strikes my eye. This is a bit odd. This is the priest, and this is the bride's father, and they seem to be up to something. There seems to be that there's something funny going on here. It looks like he's holding a movie reel or some sort. Anyway, I have to take this shot. So I use a camera where I can actually go close, and I can also do a wide angle. It's very smart to have such a thing on your camera, so you can, because I would not get this shot if they saw me. So I'm just coming along and I see these guys standing like that, and I take the shot.
Yeah.
And this is a very good thing to do when you have this kind of shooting. When you approach, you just, whatever you see, you don't have this, you don't ask yourself, is this really necessary? Will they like that? You just take the shot, because you can always say, okay, I actually at this point was not sure this was the bride's father. Now it showed up later that this was. So that was all of a sudden an important shot, because and I could figure out this is the priest, so everything which he does is sort of interesting. Okay, let's look at the next shot and just see. Okay, so now we're inside, and this is where you have the groom waiting. Okay, I actually, the last wedding, they actually made the plan. The groom and the bride had a plan that the bride would not show up.
What? Why?
Because, and then he would sort of like fake being panicky, and then he would go out, and then they will come in together. But you know, you shouldn't make jokes about this, because the bride was hurrying around, and then she left the house, and then all of a sudden she forgot the bouquet of flowers. So she had to go back. So she was not, she was actually not there. So this is the famous thing. If you make a joke about stuff like that, then it could happen. So it happened. Anyway, so the obvious thing is here to if the sometimes the groom is very sort of like calm and relaxed and very cool, but sometimes he looks a little bit nervous. He looks a little bit nervous, and you want to take that. So you want to see if you can catch a photo of him being nervous. Also, you just have this is just a general shot. There are some people waiting, and now it is something is going to happen. So now we have an important moment. This is where the bride actually arrives. And there is also a shot before that where if I talk to the people beforehand, which I always do, but then I would say, okay, tell your father that when he comes to the car where you're coming, because nobody sees this part of nobody sees. I'm the only one seeing this, and this is actually important. So out there, and then I would say, when you come with the car, have your dad open the door for you. Don't step out yourself, because this is like an old-fashioned moment. You know, the father is now taking her daughter up to be married away. So he opens the door because he's a gentleman. So I tell, open the door for her. Don't let her get out on her own, because she has to manage the dress also. And that moment when they step out of the car, you can actually get some very nice photos of a gentleman nature. Now, I don't know exactly what happened here, but that was something else, not prepared for, but it seems like this is an important moment. There's a nice something going on. So you shoot that. So even though I'm trying to set you up to be prepared, you have to be prepared for everything.
Situation.
Yeah, exactly. So everything can happen, and you don't know what's going to happen, and you just shoot it whenever you have a chance. Now, we are now going into the church, and there's a technical point here. If you use your phone, the phone will adjust automatically to the lighting. But if you use a more professional equipment, you have to be ready for that. When you get inside the church, the lighting is much less, and it will be of a different temperature, meaning that the light will be warmer. So if you have a camera where these settings are done manually, you have to change the temperature of the setting of the camera to that now we're going inside. If you're using a phone, it will figure it out itself. Yeah. So anyway, and because there is much less light inside, you also have to change the how sensitive the film is. You have to increase the sensitivity of the film so it's prepared for that when we get inside. Otherwise you have these blurred pictures because you can't hold the camera steady. Okay, but if you're using a phone, you'll be okay, because the phone will do that automatically. So for all you guys using a professional camera, it does have an automatic setting for these things, and this is a perfect time to use automatic. Don't be too proud. I never go automatic. I always do manual, because it doesn't matter. This is a very difficult point, because you're going inside, and there will be shots while you're going inside also. So this is a sort of like it's not maybe the best picture, this one, because but you don't have time to get them to be more relaxed than they are, and it's just that okay, so they were a little bit nervous, they look a little bit nervous, but that's still fine. This is an important point. Now I'm taking my daughter up to be married, so it's okay they're a little bit nervous, yeah, as the groom was also okay being nervous in the previous picture, because that's part of the story. Let's see. This is the bridesmaid. It's not there's not always bridesmaids, but there is sometimes, and they also like to have a shot done. So this is an obvious moment also. Before we enter the church, you just make a nice photo with them, and sometimes you have to insist a little bit, because they're confused. You have to say, should we just take a photo of you guys before we go in? And they say, yeah, okay. You have to say that, because they will regret having it not being done, but they will not have enough presence. They'll be too confused. So you have to say that. It's quite important. Now and again you have to...
Can I just say something?
Yeah?
why is it you have chosen that background and not the church or something
Because
else?
if I go inside in the church,
No, I
then
mean maybe outside.
yes,
Yeah.
I could, because this goes fast.
Hmm.
This is a relatively
so it's
fast.
just
You
like
have the whole church waiting, so this is
Then
like
why don't you wait until after?
you could do that too.
Mm.
You could do that too, but
It's just because it's a
this is
special
also
moment, you know.
it
so
is
you
a special
want
moment.
us
This moment is
background.
special.
Mm.
I know, because but usually after the ceremony itself, you will have a chance. If you are booked to be at the party also, and later on you'll be able to do that photo later on also.
Okay.
But there is a lot of at this point we know they're all present. Then the thing is, after the wedding start, the ceremony goes, then you also have to, where are these people now? Oh, they're gone to prepare something. They are actually not here anymore. So this is a moment where we actually know they're all there, because now we're going to enter the church. So we know that everybody is there. So let's see what happens next. Now, this is the moment where they go and sit down. And you can see, actually you can see the quality is less now, because we're inside, and it is because there is less light. So the camera is making it more grainy. Yeah. But it's still acceptable. What is important now is that when you are to shoot a wedding, that you notice that on the right side sits the is the groom with the best man, and on the left side the father and the bride is going to sit. And when they've done this, changed the ceremony, they will now sit where the father and the bride is going to sit. And that means you are going to, the best place to be placed is over here to the right in the church, because there will be a shot later on where you will see the couple looking at each other for the first time, being man and wife. This is a shot I always wait for, because it's quite funny. It usually happens, they sit down and they go, oh, we're married. And they look at the other person. And that's the first time you see them looking at each other as a married couple. And that is a classic one. So I always try to get that one. So that's why I want to be on the right side of the aisle going up, because then I have a chance of getting this shot. So there is some strategic thing in placing yourself to the right of the church. Okay, let's see what happens next. So now there is some chances to get something if you're lucky that the light is good enough. And here I have actually put a tripod on now, so I can hold the camera steady and increase the sensitivity, decrease the sensitivity, so I can get a non-grainy picture. And she holds her hand still, so there's no movement in the camera, so therefore I can do something where I can get the details of the bouquet there, because it's also something usually is expected of the photographer. Make a nice picture of the flowers, because they will they will disappear. And the nicest place is actually right now, because that is really in context. This is where the flowers were at. You know, this is not posed or anything. And here, because I focus completely on the flowers, I managed to blur the background completely, and then we get a very nice clean shot. So this is actually after the ceremony. No, it's not. Yeah, she's still not married.
Yeah, I was just going
she's still not married. No.
Yeah.
It must be. I couldn't because my angle is also a little bit wrong. So let's see what happens. I can't remember exactly how this wedding went. So let's see. Anyway, when she looks at me like that, I have to take the photo. There's no guarantee she will do that. She's not been instructed to do it, but if she does it, you have to take it. Now there is other people looking, and there's small things happening, and I just take pictures whatever I see. And usually people say of me that it was very nice having you do our wedding, because we didn't really notice you. So this is one thing which is very important when you're in the church. Don't be the center of attention. Don't be like, hey, I'm the press photographer, I'm going to take some. You be invisible. That is your job. But people still might see you, and when they look like this is a very cute moment, so of course you take that.
Yeah.
He's almost begging for his photo there, so of course I took it. I also took a lot of other photos like that. So this is where it's getting serious. It's getting real serious. And this is a nice moment because you can really see what is going on. And the priest is very nice also because he's really into it.
Yeah.
He's loving his job. That's important. You can see that he's really enjoying what's happening. And he looks really serious there in a very nice way. So that's a good moment, that one. It doesn't matter so much that the priest is a little bit out of focus. The important thing is to get these two people completely in focus, right? Of course,
nice.
This is what happens. This is also part of what will happen. So if you're prepared for that shot, it's also very nice to get that. I do these things that I change a little bit from black and white in the editing, from colors and black and white, just because I think they do different things. So and also give to some variation basically. And now they stand there. The priest is still very happy. And the groom looks very proud. That's very nice.
He does.
So that's kind of nice. And this is the moment I talked about. I have chosen this one apparently. I don't know if there's another one coming up.
They have it good?
No, I didn't get the one where they looked at each other. It doesn't always happen, but there is moments here. I think this little one came running up, and then all of a sudden he wanted to join, sit there.
Because
so that confused it a little bit. So
I was just like, is that their kid?
That is their kid.
Okay.
A lot of couples have kids when they get married, and it's sort of like a confirmation of that now they have gone really serious, and now they have a house, and now they're... But and on a rare occasion, the couple is actually almost like bored doing the ceremony here. Rare. This happens very rare.
Wow.
But sometimes it's like, this is just a formality, that kind of feeling. But it's rare. Now, you can look at her, it's not a formality. It's completely obvious that this is very important, right? She's really enjoying this moment.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the blessing, and here I have mixed colors and black and white.
That.
It's just because
you want them
I
to
just
be focused.
I thought this would be nice, and sometimes it's an okay effect to use that you sort of say.
Different.
Yeah, it's sort of like, it also says, it almost looks natural when you look at it, and you sort of go and then you see, okay, there is something funny here, but it's just basically making them more the central in the picture. And you have this step here, which is a bit dramatic because you are actually, as a photographer, walking backwards.
It's true. Yeah.
So you have to make the important thing is you walk the same pace as they do, because then you can maintain sharpness. Okay? If you walk too fast, they go out of focus. So if you made a focus and you maintain sort of the same speed as they're walking, it's a little bit difficult. But you try as well as you can, and then you walk backwards. And then we come to the outside. And here, if I just walk back on that one thing, again, here it's totally fine to be completely on automatic, because we are now coming from the dark inside church, and we are going outside, and there will be probably a lot of light. And this is where they have just walked out. Sometimes a lot of people are just coming very close behind them, and they don't stop on the stepstone. If I can, I make the people stop on the stepstone and just have a photo right there, but they just kept walking. I mean, you have to. There's a framework where you go, oh, this is what. But at least there should be one photo where you get them as a couple here, walking out of the church, because walking out of the church is like now the official ritual is completed. It is over. So the next thing is that all these people are going to come out and they're going to greet them, and they're going to hug them, and they're going to squeeze them, and it'll be a lot of hugging. Okay, so I actually I go tick 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 tick. I try to get as many hugs as possible. I don't know if one of the people in the church is gonna be maybe it's the last time we ever see them. It could be an old person, or it could be his brother who has just come from the States, who's flown for 9 hours, and last time they saw each other was like 5 years ago. This could be, I don't know who's important. I don't. So the best advice I can give here is just to shoot everything. The only thing is that the bride and the groom are hugging different people. So you will not, it's a little bit difficult to find out who are you going to shoot. And you'll probably see a little bit of confusion in the next, obviously that's, I think it's their own kid getting a kiss. So that's kind of, this is one of this is an important shot, because everybody who is photographing of the audience, they are photographing the couple. Okay, so what your job is, if you are covering this event, is to step backwards and get everybody, because here it is the interaction between the people who are present and the wedding couple. So here is, if I only shot the wedding couple getting rice thrown at them, I would only get half the story. So at this point in time, it's extremely important to include the audience. Sometimes you get some really funny, evil faces when they throw the rice and they do that, and it's quite funny to see. And it can be sometimes one of the best pictures you get of the whole wedding is what is going on right now.
Yeah.
So take a lot of shots here, and they will probably be little bit confused, because this is messy and it is confused. Now you have the this is spectacular in that they have actually gotten an old-time transportation, and obviously that is a moment we need to, if you have such a extravagant vehicle, you have to take some shots at a later point. What happens now is that they're going to leave the scene, and I'm going to follow, and I'm going to have some private time with the newlywed. Okay? And I would like to, I have made another video where I also talked about this, but they've actually survived getting married, and they are actually very relaxed. This is a funny thing, but the state of mind they're in is most likely to be very relaxed. So it's a very good time to get some real close shots between them. The chemistry between them is usually amazing when you meet the couple and they've just been married. Sometimes I don't get to be part of the church ceremony. I see the couple first when they arrive to a chosen destination for the official, nicely instructed pictures. So that is where we're gonna go now, because the next thing is that I'm gonna go into my car and I'm gonna follow these guys, or at least I'm gonna know where they're going. I probably my car is probably going a little bit faster than this vehicle, right? Let's see what happens on the next frame here. Yeah, okay, so they are ready to go. That's also fine. And I'm running away now, and here's actually the perfect picture of the church, the flag and the horses and so on, and all the people who are there. So now you get sort of like, okay, that was the total picture. Yeah. But I actually took the church when I arrived also, because I wasn't completely sure how this would go, but now I can see, okay, I have plenty of time to reach the destination, and I can go back and get the whole thing. So you change between going very close and going broad. close, broad. Or you take close, 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 close for 5 minutes, then you go broad, and then that's what you do. So I think that is the next ones will be at their chosen destination. Let's see. No, no. I obviously had time to. This very royal how he's waving to the crowd there. The horses are looking good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have like a picture where they all are standing together in front of the church?
No.
No. Why?
Because
it's
it's not important. If they're going to the party, we'll get that there. Okay. If the couple has prioritized that we will get a group photo, it should be done. It should be done before we do this thing here. Okay. But usually it varies a little bit. What happens? I talked to the client before and asked him or her, or obviously both of them, what are your expectations? And then they would say, we like a group photo at the church. Okay, we do a group photo, but the group photo actually requires me to find something a little bit tall to stand on, so I can get everyone in a shot and so on. So it requires me to be prepared. And here you see there is a vehicle arriving, and they are booked for a certain time. It all needs to go certain clockwork, and to take a group photo is probably going to add 7-8 minutes more, and it's not that important. To get a good pictures like this is more important. If they want a group photo, I will do a group photo. But if I'm going to the reception later, there's a better time to do it.
Okay.
All right. So let's see what happens next. Now we have arrived at the chosen destination. Now we're going to do the official pictures. And here, this is quite funny because obviously I think I actually got the bride's father helping out of the car, but I chose this picture as much more important, and as they are double, I only edit about 20 pictures or so I chose this one, and then I made it in a real old style editing, so it's made into sepia, which is the brownish color, so it looks, obviously it's so much asking to be made old-fashioned, this one, right? So let's see what I then did. Then we have a real church, and we have the wagon and this is you don't know what season of the year. I mean, weddings are usually primarily in springtime and a little bit summer, but some are also in autumn, like here. And it's actually it's very nice season to actually do it, but you can have very horrible weather, and then these shots would be troublesome to do, right? They would be real troublesome. And we got a cat. Oh, I managed to go very fast forward. So we continue here. Obviously, this wagon is so nice that I tried to put it in more shots. If you have a lot of cloth behind the gown, then you try to make it show in the pictures, and you have to take advantage of the scenery. So. One thing you can do, as they were going by slower transport than me, that I have probably had 10-15 minutes before they arrived to sort of like make a decision about where to do the different shots. You have to go. The funny thing is, you a picture like this, where you have a couple close their eyes, you will get a lot. The attention will then go on their hands, because if they had eye contact here, you look at the eyes. But the funny thing is that the hands become very, very much in focus when people close their eyes, because we try to experience what they are experiencing, and as they have their eyes closed, we go to the hands immediately. So it's a very interesting thing to do couple photography, is to do it with the eyes closed. It actually gives some very sensual, intense photos. That's as a general, a very good advice to do. It can feel a little bit funny for the couple when you tell them, please close your eyes, but it makes a lot of sense to them later when they see the photo.
That's actually very beautiful.
Yeah.
Moment. Yeah.
So
And that one.
if you have a bench, make something casual. Have them sit and lean on each other and have that private moment. You want to take up the cat?
Yeah.
We have a cat roaming around here. Okay. If it comes closer, I don't mind. Let's. We're soon finished. Look to pick up the cat then.
We have two in here.
We have two cats in here.
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently.
So let's wrap this up with a stylish photo of this is another vehicle.
So they had actually two.
They had their own vehicle.
Ah,
This
okay.
this is I think it's his own. It's an old car of his own, with which he has some personal relationship to, or whatever. And I tried to make him look a little bit like James Bond. I think that was the idea. Him being all casual and her being a little bit like a Bond girl or whatever. I don't know if it's completely successful, but it's not bad. But it's okay. Usually, if this has to be done completely right, the foot has to be pointing totally to the ground, and she can't do that with her. I should have actually, to make this even more perfect, I should have asked her, can you please take off your one shoe?
Why?
Because then I could have the foot pointing
No,
straight
like this,
down,
yeah.
and then it would look a little bit more. Now there's this angle and it looks a little bit wrong, but you can't think of everything. I think they're still fine. So that concludes actually. There is no more pictures for this wedding here, so this is actually the last one. But if you expand what can what could be part of a wedding photography, it could actually be that the bride wants the photographer to be present while she gets ready, and you have some dressing scenes and some hair scenes, and where the bridesmaids are and so on. And then afterwards you have the reception, and here you will have the different groups possibly, or you will shoot the cake, because they eat the cake. You will shoot there will be a table where all the gifts will be put at the place where they're gonna have the party and so on. And then you take a picture when at some point when you think now everybody has arrived and have put a present there, you take a picture of all the presents. And whatever if you are going to be there at the dinner, then you sneak in while they're doing the preparations, and you take a picture of the completely ready table with no people around, where you can just see, wow, you have all the table made up and look nice and so on. You also take a photo of that. And then a good advice is, if you are there to photograph the actual party, don't take people while they eat. They don't like that. And but when they toast, that's completely different.
Yeah. To say hi.
Come here. Too shy, camera shy. Don't want to be part of the picture of the cat. Anyway, last thing, there'll be some speeches, and you can take some photos of that. Sometimes people request video of the speeches and so on. And the final thing, the usual final, absolute final thing, is the dance. They do a waltz usually, and that's the official thing. And then sometimes you have, here in Denmark, the man's socks get clipped.
Whoa.
Yeah, you didn't know that. Okay, so they take off the sock, and then they clip it off and then put it on again. So it's, I don't know. I actually don't know, but they do that thing. They clip the socks, so or they clip the tie, or they do something, and that's funny. And then they will carry the groom while they do it, and do some bullying, which is nice. And then that's sort of that. And that concludes the wedding. So, there you have it. That's all the things you need to remember.
Yeah.
Okay. But of course, after you've done a wedding or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, it becomes a routine, and you actually get to relax a lot, because it's just nice. You're sort of part of the journey, and so on. And that's that. So, thanks for listening and being part of our little journey here. And if you like the video, of course you should press the like button, and you should, if you want to see more, you should press the subscribe button. That was the commercial thing. Yeah, okay. We're done.